Hey guys, we're back. So we were talking about your tag, and by now you've done the best you can on your own to discover what your tag is. That's probably the hardest part of this class, the most difficult, the most challenging, just plain the hardest. And I'm going to give you an example now, at least one, maybe more, of other people that have taken the class, how it worked, what the process was like. So there was a gal in one of the classes, and her listening, the place in her life, the way I used to teach this class is I used to teach it with what is your best moment, what is your worst moment. That didn't seem to be the best approach after a while, but I've taught this class a lot of times, so that's how we did it in the beginning. So in that class, in a class like that, she said, well, here's my problem, here's why I called you, here's why I took the class. She worked in a theater, meaning theater stage performance type theater, and she sold tickets at the office during the week. She would sit in the office during the week. People would call, need 3 tickets for the next Les Miserables or whatever, and she would sell them tickets. And she would get nervous on the phone, like incredibly nervous. So nervous that it would challenge her having that job. She would get too nervous. And whether it's, other stuff in the office or whatever, I don't even remember what it was, but she would get really nervous and have a difficult time completing the sale of the tickets. So she came to my class. So when we said, well, what's your best listening experience, general area, she said, well, hiking. Love to hike. Love to just listen to the silence. Great, fine. What is your specific time? Well, it was this one time I was walking in the redwoods and it was lovely and da, 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 da. You get the idea. And it was very beautiful, what she said. And so then we started drilling down into what is the specific one moment in that specific time. Da, da, da. And she said, well, there was this one moment in that day when I came around the corner of the trail, and here was this redwood stump. It wasn't a tree, it was a stump. Okay. And so she said more about that, this meaning of life, and it was very special. And she just stood there and listened to the beauty of the forest and all that stuff. It was very beautiful. And great. So then we found her tag. I said, okay, so what reminds you of that? What is that? Tell me about that. And she said, well, my tag is a word phrase. Doesn't have to be. It could be anything. A sound, feeling, color, could be anything. She said, my tag is a word phrase, and the phrase is redwood stump. Okay, great. So your phrase is redwood stump. Now, she took the class, she felt better, she went back to work, and after she got back to work, she called me and said, it's going pretty well, I see some improvements, and I could be better. I said, great. All right, well, I said to her on the phone, let's meet next week, we'll do a session, blah, blah, blah. Now, got off the phone. 2 or 3 days later, I called her on the phone before this coaching session was going to happen. Called her on the phone, and she said, hello, blah, 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 theater. And I said, redwood stump. That's all I said. I didn't say anything more. Now, theoretically, she's supposed to be saying this phrase to herself and having her own change occur because she reminded herself of the moment when her listening was so excellent. But in this case, I was coaching her, so I called her up and I said, redwood stump. And I didn't say anything else. And I don't remember what happened next on the call, whether we talked some or didn't talk or she laughed or what, but something transpired. And a few days later, she shared with me that my having called her and said Redwood Stump helped her to really get, okay, this is what she worked for to find this tag, this nugget, and there it was, and yes, it helped. And so the point being that if you can find a way to remind yourself of that tag, maybe you're at a sales call and you go up to the elevator, you say your tag, or you see that color, or you carry the color with you, or if it's a sound, you carry it on your iPhone or something. That tag will help to re-experience, help you reinitiate your experience, help you rewire your physiology back to that moment when your listening was so excellent and your speaking was so excellent. So that's how it works, kids. And we're way over time, so I'll see you in the next clip. Thank you for working on this. It's tough. Thank you.